Hi friends, it's Jenny, and I know you just watched a Beadbox Bargains unboxing from me, but I swear that was recorded 2 weeks ago. I really did not get back-to-back orders. We held on to that one for about a week and a half. I recorded after I got back in town from my various times back to see family last month, and we held on to it because that timing happened to be right at the beginning of the month when so many of our lovely bead subscriptions or curations come in, and those unboxings were absolutely more important. Maybe like I'm not saying it's not fun to do the bead haul, but it wasn't the timing wasn't relevant. So we hung on to it until this last weekend, but it was recorded 2 weeks ago. This is another order that I placed. In fact, this is the order that I placed with the holiday bundles that they released last week. They had a bundle drop, or the week before last rather, the end of, not the companion bundle, that's yet to come, but these other bundles. Oh, that must be with this. Okay. But these, Beki is going to be doing an unboxing of the holiday bundles. So watch out for those. I'm not going to go over these in this video. I'm going to open them while I watch her video later. But I did buy some other items that, yep, there's another one. There were a lot of bundles. I think it was a total of 5 bundles that day. And I was ridiculous and bought all 5. But then I also bought a whole bunch of other fun metal findings and other goodies, and I decided that I would, a lot of them are like winter themed and stuff like that, and so this isn't as big of a haul as last time, so I think that we can probably just go through it as is right here without having to go off. Oh, this is my my free gift. And it does have a number, so I can look up this number. Even if this number is no longer available, I can look up this number and see if these pins were identified as being nickel-free before I use them. So I'll check that out later. But that was my free gift. There's always a free gift from Beadbox Bargains. And because I am a subscriber to the Bargain Bead Box, I get a 30% off coupon code. And this time, with the bundles and the other items that I ordered, I ended up saving over $33. That's more than the subscription cost. So it is definitely worth it if you are on the fence about whether or not you want the subscription. Even just the savings at the store covers the cost of the box. Plus you'll have the things that you do love from the box. You don't have to love the whole thing, but the things that you do love, it is definitely worth it. So there is going to be a link in the description below, as well as a coupon code for the Bargain Bead Box, so that you can decide if you want to sign up. That does help me get my next box, but also it's a great source for beads, and we do actually enjoy making a lot from our Bargain Bead Box stuff. One of the things I like because of my metal allergy is that if something is nickel free and they have the certification, the testing back from that, it will be listed as such. So I don't have to go in and do my own testing on items that I know are nickel free. In fact, I don't buy anything directly that isn't safe for me to use. And I know that I love that I can trust Beadbox Bargains to label it if they have the information. If something comes in a collection, they'll also be labeled, and so I'll know, like the companion bundle, every bit of metal was lead, cadmium, and nickel free, and I was so excited. Anyway, tangent. But I have a ton of fun things. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have fun with this. Okay, so let me get my packing list out, and I'm gonna skip past the first couple of items because they are a couple of those bundles or mixes that that I bought separately that you'll see from Beki later. I'm just gonna take all of these and put them number side up so I can find what I'm looking for. A little bit different style than when I have a really big bead haul, but you can tell I got a lot of metals. I went through when I did this order, and I went through and I got some things that I knew that I wanted to try and to have. Most of them are metal, actually. Some of them are charms that were listed as nickel free. Some of them are ear posts. Yeah, it's almost entirely metals, guys. So just a little bit different bead haul. I think I was definitely feeling the, okay, I want more things that are fun that I know I can use. So I've got all of these here, and I've got my handy dandy dish for isolating and showing you the individual things. I feel like my lighting is weird today. I've even got extra lighting because I've got the window open because it's daytime. I don't always record during the day, but we'll do our best. I think the camera is positioned differently too from the last time I did a video. So yeah, it's okay. We will adjust. But the first thing on my list, and unfortunately they don't have the prefixes on these, but I can find them. The first thing is all the caps. And I had another thing that was caps. There it is. Okay, so these are the same cap, just 3 different colors. They're 8mm 4-petal bead caps. This is antique silver. Here. And that's cap 586. I'm dropping things. It's just part of the course. It's what we do. And then this is the same in an antique gold. Turn a few more of them over. They like to go the wrong way, but this way you can see them. Those are really pretty. I like those. I like the style in that antique gold. It feels very vintage. And I think that's going to be fun. And speaking of vintage, these are the same ones again, but in antique bronze. So they are definitely more muted as the antique bronze than the gold was. But they've got the same detailing. So those are a lot of fun. I do like to get bead caps when they are available as nickel free. Sometimes they can be tested as nickel free, but if they don't say outright that they're nickel free, I don't buy them just because it is harder to find. And then we've got another bead mix that I'm skipping. And then, oh, here's our ear things. So each of these ear things has a little red post on them. It just covers the thing. It doesn't have a back, so you want to make sure that you have your own ear nuts or silicone ear backs to do with these. But this is, and I'm probably doing them out of order. No, this is actually the right one. So this is the it's an alloy with a sterling silver snowflake. Wait. Silver sterling snowflake ear studs with faux pearl. This is the gold version, even though it says sterling silver. Get this behind it so you can see that it's that snowflake, has a little faux pearl in the middle and a loop at the bottom, and then this is the back. So this is all hypoallergenic for me. So I thought those would be kind of fun. I usually use hooks, but these were some fun wintry posts that I thought that we could have a good time with. This is also, this one is more faux pearl with matte white. So this is the same again, but with matte white. And you can see this back was on when it was doing the coating. So if you have little white flakes and stuff in your package, it's just from that. It's not coming off of the item itself. It's just because it's not meant to stay on and adhere to that. This is originally red, as you can see. So got this, and it's got that little loop to be able to use it and attach something fun. I'm looking forward to making wintry stuff. And then also these ones, these are enamel Santa hats. I just thought they were too cute. Super cute, these. And again, it's a post. And this was, again, while they were applying the enamel. So it'll flake off a little bit, but it's flaking off of this, not off of the post itself, with a little loop. So that's really cute. I wanted some fun holiday things. I wanted to get the holiday things before, so I had time to make with them and not just wait until they got low on quantity. I meant to show you. So the sterling silver on the caps was 586. The gold is 587. And the bronze is 588. And then the gold snowflakes are 291. The white snowflakes are 292. And the Santa hat, enamel Santa hat, are 294. So that does ear wires, and a lot of the rest of this is findings. We've got a bunch of findings. So let me get, this one is more enameled Christmas stuff. These are Christmas mittens, and I love them. They're so cute. They are so cute. And I'm not liking, okay, I got it to auto adjust the lighting the right way. But they've got like this green tip to them. I don't know if you can tell. I'll hold it in the light. Ah, there we go. I'm angling it so that you can see a little bit more of that play off the light. Green and red, and those are knitted with love, those little guys. They're really cute. They're gonna make some adorable earrings, dingles on earrings. I'm definitely looking forward to playing with those. And then we've got these ones. These are candy cane with holly. Again, the gold enameled. I have to pass on a lot of charms. We're going to be testing the ones that came in the bundles. Becky will test those and report those results. But these are just sweet little gold candy canes with little clusters of holly. And I just thought they were really cute. And those are 2193. Did I show you the mittens? 2187. I think I showed you the mittens, but that's okay. I showed it to you again. Okay, and then we got some snowflake stuff. I love snowflakes. I love winter. I'm really excited about all of the snowflake things. So turning these so I can see and get them in the right order. The first one is this one. It's a snowflake pendant with rhinestone accents in silver. And I believe that I had gotten one of these in a previous order maybe. And I said that I wanted a second one. This is me getting that second one, because I thought they would make really lovely on earrings. So this is, if that looks familiar, that's why, because you probably just watched me unbox it. Even though I did it, like I said, 2 weeks ago, so been a little while. And then we have that was 2348. This is 2349. Wait. No, that was the wrong one. Hold on. 2348. Sorry, these are 2348. That other one is probably going to show up in Pendants. We'll come back to it. So these guys, see one down there, and I'm going to hold one up here. Kind of try to angle it a little bit so you can see. See how that looks. And that is a two-piece set. That's what threw me off. I'm like, oh wait, that was supposed to be a two-piece set. It's because I was looking at the wrong thing. That's okay. 2 of those. And then we have 2 of these. These are a little bit smaller. A little bit more delicate. Hold one down there and then turn one at an angle here. Love those. Love, love, love those. Okay, yeah, these other ones are going to be in the pendants. Sorry, I messed us up. That's okay. That is okay. All right, and then we've got triple leaf links. That's these guys. 4989. So they've got this loop at the top that makes it look like a charm, but actually on the back there's an additional loop here so that you can use these as links. So that's front and back. And it's a set of 2. And then we've got flower chandelier links, these guys, 10 pieces. I love a multi-point connector, especially these ones. Like this one is, it's a chandelier link. Excuse me. But I think of this as more of like the kind of connector I would use to attach strands or links of the necklace and then hang a focal from it. That 3-point link in that formation. That's how I would probably be most likely to use these. But you can, you know, if you wanted to use it as like an ear wire and then have other things dangle from it. There's a lot of different ways that you can use it. But when I look at it, that's the use that is forefront in my mind, because that is something I like to do when I'm attaching a pendant to like a beaded chain necklace or something like that. I like to have a decorative connector, and that's a good connector for that. And then we've got these ones. These are lotus flower links in antique silver. A couple of bits of, I don't know what. Well, these are the lotus flower links. And they've just got a, you know, loop top and bottom. But they're really pretty and they have nice detail on them. My lights never want to stay where I put them. Like I actually position it and then it's like, oh, I'm just going to lay my head down, take a nap. Okay. Sorry for a light adjusting noise. And then after our lotus flowers, we've got some butterfly links. Those are not the butterfly links. Where are my butterfly links? Here's the butterfly links. These are 5160. The lotus flowers were 5149. And these are actually the same front to back, which I really like with links. If a link is only one-sided, I have a harder time, mainly because I'm new and I'm still practicing, making sure that everything is facing the right direction to be able to be visible in the right way. But these ones are the same front to back. So if you use them on a bracelet, you don't have to worry about them flipping and turning the wrong way, because they are the links are on the sides of the wings, so they might work better in a bracelet. Okay. And then we've got round flower links. That's these guys. 5167. There's 2 pieces of these, and these ones are, it's a link. How do I arrange this? So this is similar, like I said before. It's hard to see where the openings are because there's a design, but there's one here, and one here. So there's 3 of those that are open. And so you could use them, like I mentioned earlier. This one has a little bit of overhang there. I might try to file that down. This one doesn't have that. But you can use that to have this be a connector between 2 sides of a necklace and then hang a focal from it. I think those are interesting and really pretty. Only one of them had was a little bit misshapen, but it just kind of seemed like it had an extra bit to it. So we'll see. And then we've got platinum plated brass and cubic zirconia snowflake pendant. 5138. Okay, so now we're back to it. This is that one. So this is the one, like I said, that I had ordered on a previous order, and I really, really liked it, but wanted to use it more for earrings rather than, it's easier actually to pick it up and angle it. I know my fingers get a little bit in the way, but you can see so much more of that sparkle, and they're really pretty. So this is to go with the one that I already got. I just need to locate that. I am still organizing. I will just put it that way. I'm still organizing. All right, and then we've got another bundle to skip, which is fine. And then we've got some stainless steel snowflake pendants. So this one is 5421. Move some of these things a little bit more out of the camera side because I don't, my mat isn't as full at the moment. And so this is the gold, and it is flat on one side and then has the little notches on the other side. So there is a front and back. And then this one is the stainless steel. They're both stainless steel, but one of them is gold toned, and the other one is your normal darker than bright silver stainless steel, but really catches the light nicely. So there's the flat, there's the bright, and gold and silver. And that was $54.21 for the gold and $54.31 for the stainless steel. Like I said, both are constructed from hypoallergenic stainless steel though. And then we've got, working on this, guys, getting a few more, 57 here, 37, and then 38. Here we go. 37 teardrop chandelier links in antique silver, and these are definitely chandelier. Look at how many holes there are. There's 7 holes on the bottom. Plus you've got the hole here to link, and you've got a hole right there in the middle near the top to dangle something as well. So these can be really fun and elaborate. They are fairly light, so depending on what you add to them, the metal itself isn't going to add a whole lot of weight, but I would probably still be careful if you're adding a lot to not overweigh these if you're using them for earrings. Because there is some weight from them, but they're not super heavy. So those are 5437, and then we have 5438. These are fancy chandelier links. So we had the teardrop one. This is the fancy one, and it's got fewer connection points, but a little bit more flow. Like they're flowy, and I like that they're flowy. And this is a set of 4, so there's 2 more in the bag here. 5438. And I didn't mention at the beginning of this video, but I'll mention it now. I am going to be doing a design on the fly with some of what I am opening right now, which is really interesting because I am getting so much in the way of metals that it's definitely going to be like stash plus, like what I'm going to be doing, but we haven't got to everything yet. So let's look at more things. Then we've got, we're almost to the one that I really want to show you. Where's the koi ones? These guys. Okay, so these were cool. 5439. I've never done much in the way of like designing with like the koi and stuff, but I loved these. I think they're really cool. There's the front and there's the back. So there's definitely a front side to it. But they've got, you know, the loop at the top and then 3 at the bottom. But they're just like these cool, like carved fish and lotus blossom. Anyway, I decided to get those just because they were interesting to me. Koi and Lotus Circle chandelier links. Yeah, because it is in a circle in antique silver. And for example, this was like a set of 4, and like the price on the website is $1.09. So like they're not expensive findings either, but they're nickel free and they're safe for me to use, and that makes me really happy. There's a lot of time I thought that in order to wear jewelry, I had to have the most expensive things. That's not the case. You just have to choose the right things, and it has to be labeled and documented as being nickel free or safe. So it's possible. All right, and then we've got dotted and swirled chandelier findings. And these are really similar to some stainless steel ones that were in the July bargain bead box, the one that was the ice cream shop, but these are just the antique bronze color. So you can use them in those ways. But there's the loop at the top, 3 loops at the bottom, and just a lot of fun. They're antique bronze, so they don't catch as much light, but I'm kind of trying to rotate it a little bit so you can see there, a little bit of that design a little bit better. There we go. Okay, that is it for the findings. What we have next is a bunch of pendants, and I'm gonna save one of these. I want to do it last because it's random pick, and I love looking at random pick things, but I want to look at it last. I want to look at all these other stuff that I picked first, which is going to be some pendants and some toggle clasps. So I have a stainless steel, this one here. So this is stainless steel, and it's a laser cut cat with wildflowers. How cute is that? I love it. It's so fun. So it's laser cut. And then we also got a laser cut bird with a Southwest style desert scene, which Becky and I, we grew up in Arizona. We weren't born there, but we spent a lot of time there. And it's just, you know, sometimes you just have to think about this. We have like a lot of our family has lived their whole lives there, you know. It's where a lot of our family is from. It's where my mom is from. She was born and raised in Arizona as well. But that was really, really kind of cool. It's easier to see the patterns on it when I can angle it in the right way, like that. So, whoops. Don't break the dish, Jen. So that's the bird with the Southwest desert scene. And then we've got some toggle clasps. This is 1054. I'm sorry if I missed some of the other numbers. I do try to at least show the front of the bag, even if I don't say the numbers out loud when I'm opening it. So, and I've used this style before in other colors, so I don't mind using those. Some toggle clasps hold better than others. I haven't really had trouble with these, but some people have. That's okay. But I did buy a whole bunch of other toggle clasps because I do love toggle clasps. And let's see if I can get these in the right order. 5, 7. Okay, so these are 1057. One of the things that can help with a toggle clasp is making sure that you've got a really nice long bar in comparison with the circle that it's going through. So for example, this bar, do you see how much longer it is than the circle that it's going through? So you get it in there and it's, you know, you have to wiggle it to get it into place. You want to make sure you've got enough play on that other end. But once it's attached, that's going to be a lot harder to just slip out on its own. Like it can go all the way over to the side like this, unless it's actually angling up and down, then it's not going to do. You just want to make sure that whatever you're doing can come through the loop to settle back down, if that makes sense. But that bar to circle ratio is actually going to hold pretty well. So that was one of the things I thought about on a lot of these ones that I chose in this order. So that's 1057, and then we've got 1060. These ones are more like a bamboo style. And again, you see the length of the bars with the circles. These are not quite as disparate, but still a good, nice long bar. And that's a set of 4. The other one was also a set of 4. And then we've got these ones. It's a set of 4 brown toggle clasps in antique copper. The other one was dark antique copper. So I don't know if you can see the difference. These are the dark antique. And these are still antique copper, but they're going to go better with some of your more bright copper findings. But they're the same style, so the same bar and ring ratio. And then we've got just a few more clasps, and then we're going to get into the fun random pick pendants that I chose. And then we've got some hammered style 2-strand. That's these guys. No. This one. That's the silver first, the antique silver. So it's a set of 2. And you've got your ring and you've got your bar. This bar doesn't overhang as much, but it's a lot smaller. Okay, so it doesn't overhang the full size of the loop, but it does. It's a nice ratio for the inside of that loop, which is honestly, that's the part that matters. But this is made to use to do double strand. So there's 2 loops on the back of both the bar and the loop. And I did get this again in another color. I'm jumping ahead because for whatever reason it's not in that same order. 731. This is antique bronze, same style, with the double strand option. So I thought that was interesting. Listed in between those, number wise, were these 18 karat gold plated wavy toggle clasps. I haven't used this style yet, but I'm looking at that, you know, loop to bar ratio and thinking that that does actually look pretty good. The way that this is wavy means it's more likely to kind of hook in and hold its position. For example, like this. Okay, so it's going to be more likely to kind of hook in. And so I'm hopeful of these. And then we've got 863. These are gold plated, 18 karat gold plated rosette accent. And it's this little swirl. The rosette accent is just this little swirl on both the bar and the loop. And then we got 594. Oh no. 938. These ones, every once in a while, I just get more of them because I do use these ones a lot with the flower on them. I also like the one that has like a heart shape and kind of a swirly pattern on it. But they're just like that antique copper jumbo lobster claw. I like them better because I have a tendency to use the side of my thumb, and I can use the side of my thumb instead of my thumbnail. So they're easier for me. And then we've got these ones, 594. And these ones, I think these bars are a little bit too close to the loop size. So I'm not sure how well they will work, but I did want to try them out. I liked the style of them. I'm going to see how they work out. Okay, and then the ones that I decided to wait on because I thought they were just too fun. And I got several of them. I got 4 because they're random pick. And there were a lot of cool colors pictured in the listing, but there are some, they said that it could even be something that wasn't pictured. And I had no idea what I would actually end up with. And so I did get 1 duplicate, I knew that was a risk. These are pendant 1143, and they're these let's see, what is the actual description? These are assorted porcelain abstract face pendants. So I got 2 of them that are like this. And I like that. It's fun. I have no idea. I don't have a design plan for these yet. But they seemed fun. Maybe they'll be what I design with at the end of this. And then we got this one. So this was red, and this one is like a blue floral pattern. It's a different floral pattern with green eyes. And then this one is more like the abstract multicolor up here with green eyes. But they're all the same item number, 1143. They are a random pick. I don't know if they're still available or not, but I knew I wanted to get some. And I think Beki did too. So she might end up showing hers because she also loves a good random pick. And like I said, I knew I might get a duplicate. So I did get 2 of the red ones. But they're just, guys, they're just fun. I got these for fun. It was I wanted something fun, and not just a bunch of medals. I mean, some of my medals are fun, don't get me wrong. So I'm gonna take a look at what I've got and grab some stuff from my stash, and I'm gonna be back with a little bit of a design. Maybe I will do something with one of these. Who knows? But either way, I'll be back in just a moment for you. Okay, let's make some cute Christmas earrings. That's what I decided to do. I'm gonna use these gold snowflake earrings that have the faux pearl and the little loop here for making a link. And I'm gonna use my little Christmas mittens. They don't have to be Christmas, but with the red and the green, they do kind of have that kind of Christmas theme. And then I've got some gold colored craft wire here that I'm going to use to make some links with some crystals, and I don't remember what these stones were from my stash, but just some light little Christmas coated things will probably follow. It won't be an exact match because this is like white, red, and then green, and I'm probably going to put the stone in between a green and a red crystal, but we'll see how that looks on the strand. Yeah, I'm leaning towards that. Yep. So I'm going to be using Soft Flex craft wire. This is 20 gauge wire. It is a dead soft wire. So it's going to be easy for me to manipulate with my hands, and I'll just work hard in my loops with my pliers. I need to get out one more set of pliers because I'm going to be using round nose pliers for making my links, and chain nose pliers also for making links, and then opening and attaching those loops and hardening them. I also got out some flat nose pliers so I can give it a nice little squish and make sure that my loops are facing the right direction. I'm also going to be using some flesh cutters for my wire. So let's get making. I know a lot of people leave this guard on, but I have a hard time like pulling the wire off of it when it's there, and I work from the spool, so maybe I'll try to keep that guard on this time. No, it's just so much easier for me to just pop that off. I was gonna try. I tried to be a good girl and use the guard how it's meant to be used. I just use it for storage. And then what I'm doing is I'm just warming up this wire. I'm just bending it gently back and forth between my thumb and my forefinger, and it warms it up and works out any of the small kinks that there might be in it. You can also use nylon jaw pliers to do the same thing, but sometimes if you use those, it can actually work harden a little bit prematurely. So it's up to you, type of wire you're using and your own preference. But I'm going to go ahead and just put on my crystals, and I'm just going to do both links back to back, so kind of assembly style, because why not? And I'm just looking again at that order. I think I like it with because it's a different shape with the white in between. Get a little bit of a dish behind this so you can see better. So that's what I'm doing for my links. I'm taking my round nose pliers. This is an already flush cut end because that's the way that I work. I usually flush cut towards the spool because my wire usually gets one more trim before it's done. So this way it's flush when I start. I like a small loop, so I am starting towards the end of my round nose pliers, pinching the end between the jaws and rotating it towards myself. Once I've got the metal meeting metal, I'm opening the jaws, swinging them back around like this. Hard to show. I don't know if you can see it this way. I'm just rotating it like this until it kind of meets up against that metal again. And then I'm just twisting it just a tiny bit further so it notches it back and helps to center that loop. So we have a centered loop. And then I'm getting my beads for this link. And I'm just snipping about a finger's length down because I am doing simple loops and repeating the process for the next one. Show you how I do it and then just kind of knock it back a little bit. Slide the beads up, finger length down, snip, and set your wire aside. So what I am going to need so that these are facing the right way, like between the loop for my ear wire and the loop for this, I do need these to be parallel links. So here I've got my loop here and it's showing like a loop. I'm just taking the top of this and with my thumbnail, I'm not pressing very hard with my thumbnail, I'm just using it to brace and hold the beads in place. I'm then using my finger to bend it down so that it's to the side. So if you can see the loop here, you bend to the side. That way when you make your additional loop, they should be fairly close to parallel. I'm just doing the same thing here. Just taking that and bending to the side, okay? And then now this is where I'm getting another trim on these. So I've got my wire here. I want about 1 centimeter, so that's why I wait until after I bend so I can make sure that I'm not measuring it and then losing distance for the bend itself. So that's why it's like 2 snips to be done. And I'm just using my finger here beside it as a guide because I know generally where 1 centimeter is on my finger. And then doing the same on the other side. So then I can roll this other loop and bring it back to the crystal, metal meets metal, like that. Okay. And then I said that I wanted to work harden these loops. I'm done with the round nose, so setting it aside. And I'm also wanting to make sure that they're parallel. So what you want to do is you want to grab one end of your link, one loop in one set of pliers and another in another, and hold them like this and see if they line up. If they don't, then just gently move your wrist until they do. And then while they're here, I'm just giving them each a little squish. And I'm going to do the same thing with this link. This link was already parallel, so I didn't need to shift it, and they both get a little squish. And then I am going to use my, I'm using my chain nose pliers to open one end. I'm going to do the green side toward the mittens, so it still kind of mimics that order. Maybe. I'm going to look at it and decide which one I like better. I think they both look cute. I'm actually liking it this way better. Okay, so I'm attaching red to my charm. Just open that up and close it again. And then I'm opening the green side and I'm attaching it to my ear post. And I am making sure that this is the back of my mitten, so this needs to be the back of my ear wire, or not ear wire, my post, and then closing it so that when it's being worn, it looks like this. How fun are these? Oh, I love it. Okay, yeah. This was exactly what I needed to do, design on the fly for this one. Because, yeah, I just did. Get the... And this way, the way I'm holding this is the front of my charm, so I'm using the front, making sure the front is facing this way on my post. So it's just whichever way your loop is opening, check your charm and orient your ear post or ear wire accordingly. These are done. They're so cute. So because with the post they're not going to sit nice, I'm gonna hold them up like this, and we're gonna do our little send off here. I wish I had a little form. Here, let me see if I can. Let me check this, see how awkward this is. If I hold them here and then just gently with my finger. I did it, kind of. There we go. I'll figure out a good way to take a picture of those. But in the meantime, that's how those earrings look. And I think they're adorable. Those turned out so cute. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed the haul, the little mini festive earring design. And these look really fun and playful. And we are nowhere near winter weather yet in Texas. It's been like 80 degrees this week, but I know that we have friends who have been experiencing that. I hope that as hard as winter weather can be, I hope that you are finding moments of joy in it. And that's what I think of when I see these mittens. But I hope that you have a wonderful week. I hope that you enjoyed this. Go ahead and hit like, subscribe. Let me know if there's something in the haul that you're especially interested in seeing, and I might try to work that into a future design. And as always, my friends, happy beading, and don't forget to play. Bye!